Hey everybody, Rorree here. Welcome to my channel, the Totally Rorree channel here on YouTube. Anyway, first, of course, look in the description box and come join us in Roses, Lavender, and Sage. We have a community for women, and we are all about empowering each other to be our best selves ever. Okay, this year we're focusing on choosing ourselves, loving ourselves the most, forgiving ourselves, um, giving to ourselves, uplifting each other, and living a wonderful life, living our best lives ever, stepping out of our comfort zones, doing what we have to do to create what we desire in this lifetime. Okay, so if you feel like you want to associate with a group of women who are focused on raising their frequency, raising their vibrations so that they can help raise the vibrations on this planet, come join us. All right, roses, lavender, and sage.com. All right, so today we are going to talk about forgiveness. All right, so before I go into the first forgiveness card, I'm just going to recap two others because these came out and we have done these before. And I was like, okay, well, we must need a refresher. So I'm not going to go deep into these two that came out first, but I'm just going to reiterate because repetition helps. Repetition, continuously working on something. It's obviously coming up for those of us who are watching these videos. So I forgive myself for believing what others have said is right over what I felt to be true. I forgive myself for believing what others said. And you know what? Okay, so this goes for me too. Like I was speaking with someone today who's an intuitive. And while I was speaking to the person, I was hearing that, "Hmm, it wasn't like a lot of times when I speak with an intuitive, I really speak for a validation of the information that's coming to me. And sometimes I just want to know, am I hearing that right? And so the information was pretty on point, but some parts of it I was like, and then when we swapped, and then I was doing the reading, then we noticed some things, and I was like, So I'm not positive that it was on point or not, and I'm just like, you know what, whatever. But I know that was a minor example, but oftentimes people impart their views and their opinions on you, and then you take them on as a fact, even if it's not even what you believed. So I'm going to say you have to, number one, not stop doing that, and trust yourselves, trust yourself. And that was one thing that I got from it. Like, Rory, you were already told to stop talking to people, stop practicing with people and stuff, and you did it again. So that's what you get. All right, so I won't be doing that again. So but sometimes you have to learn your lessons. But I want you to know that, and believe in yourselves, believe in your own word, believe in your own thoughts. And sometimes to get to that point, you have to clear everybody else's crap out. You have to clear all the muck and mire, all the layers that have been built since you were in the womb. Sometimes before you even went into the womb, you were building things that need to be released now in this lifetime, maybe things from other lifetimes that you have to release now. So believe we have to release all of that so that you can get to the point where you just know yourself, and you don't have to know or need validation from elsewhere. And then if you do get it, just know to to pick and choose what you're going to allow to sink into your being, into your life, what you're and pick and choose who you're going to allow to speak into your life. Like, I don't allow everybody to speak into my life, and I learn every day. I learn and grow every day when I need to stop, you know, different individuals for having a say so in my life. So I forgive myself for believing what others have said is right over what I have felt to be true. So believe your truth. You know, it really doesn't matter. Like, I know I was given a reading the other day, and I was sharing some information, and in all actuality, so what? Because you have free will. And there are so many different sides to a story. There's so many different things that go within a reading, that so what about this one little piece? You know what I mean? One little piece doesn't make a whole thing, doesn't make a whole pie. Like a one little slice doesn't make the whole pie. And things could be in that moment. Something can be arrayed for this moment, but then this moment, it might be all right. You know what I mean? So trust your own truth. Trust what you believe. That's what sometimes I have to say, well, what do you get? You know, I know this one young lady, the way her style of doing readings is to help you get to your own answers. And that's a good thing, because sometimes you could be imparting some stuff on somebody and then you messing them up because that wasn't really in alignment with what they felt. So, but anyway, I choose to believe that every individual has their own valid, unique truth. And when I focus on cultivating greater trust in myself, my inner knowing strengthens. And that's what we have to do. We have to release all of the other stuff so that we can get down to the core, so that we hear clearly and we don't have the monkey mind, and so that we know where we're hearing from. We know that we're hearing from the Holy Spirit within. We know we're hearing from spirit guides and angels that are from love, from a loving place. Okay. So then that's what you want to ask. You want to ask to be led by your collective group that's speaking to you from love. Okay. All right. So just repeat after me. I forgive myself for believing what others have said is right over what I have felt to be true. I choose to believe that every individual has their own valid, unique truth. And when I focus on cultivating greater trust in myself, my inner knowing strengthens. And that's what we're all about in Roses, Lavender, and Sage. And none of us are perfect. We're all works in progress. We're all working on ourselves. You will hear me disclose, I don't care about being vulnerable. Like, I will be vulnerable. I will share with you what I do that's not right, or when I make mistakes, I will tell you. I ain't scared to tell you that I'm not perfect. Okay. All right. Here's another one that came out. Look, I'm trying to find it. Okay, so let me put this one down. Okay, this is the other one. Okay, I forgive myself for being ashamed of the ways in which I have shown up and have behaved in the past. Okay, so I feel like this one came up either last week or the week before. I don't know. But I forgive myself for being ashamed of the ways in which I have shown up and behaved in the past. And my thing is, yesterday is history. Tomorrow's a mystery. Today is a gift, and that's why we call it the present. And it's very important for you to remain in this moment, stay present, in the present, learn from yesterday, learn, reflect on yesterday, learn, immerse the learning in here, in this moment, use it in this moment, you know? So be here, be present. Yesterday, you cannot do anything about it except learn from it. You can't redo it. Well, you could. You could do time travel. You can go out on the astral and go back there and relive those moments and, infuse those moments into this present moment. So I shouldn't say you can't do those things. You know what I mean? Some of the work that I do, I send you back to when you were a child and we do healing work there. Some of the timeline healing work I do, we do go back and we do heal. So you can heal your past, but the past is not meant for you to live in it. It really isn't. Okay, so if you're guided to heal something in your past, then I definitely say we can work on that, but don't live there. The way you behaved in the past, if you don't like it, then learn from it. Being ashamed, having shame, and things of that nature, those things cause dis-ease in the body. So when you hold on to shame and guilt for too long, that emotion turns into a physical manifestation and it becomes a dis-ease in your body. It can become a dis-ease. And you might think you done caught something and you ain't really catch nothing except a manifestation of that shame and guilt that you done held on to for too long. Okay. So, and some of the work that we do, like we did a visualization last week. And towards the end of the visualization, I remember taking a final dive into the ocean of my soul, right? And a tear started coming from my eye. And then I was like, okay, I was not upset. I was not emotional, nothing. But sometimes the work that we do over there in roses, lavender, and sage, you will unconsciously release old pain body. So that's what my body was doing. It was shedding some tears for something. And guess what? I didn't even ask. I don't care what it was. Thank you. That's all I have to say is thank you. Because obviously that was an emotion that needed to be released, because feelings buried alive never die. And I'm like most of you strong women, sometimes I bury them feelings. Okay, we all do it. We've all been guilty of burying our feelings and moving on. Okay, we've done that. We bury it. And we, next thing you know, something little happened. You know what I'm saying? That's us, okay? So let me get back to this comment. I forgive myself for being ashamed of the ways in which I have shown up and behaved in the past. I choose to believe that when I accept all aspects of my being, I find greater acceptance of others, creating the possibility for even deeper connections. So I choose to believe that when I accept all aspects of my being, accept all of it, what you think is good, what you think is bad, what you think is ugly, all of it is all up in here, okay? It's all up in there. Accept it all, you guys. Accept it all. It's you. It made you who you are. It gave you your muscles. I got muscles. I ain't got no muscles. I gotta get the muscles. Hopefully I'll be working out this week. Okay? To give me some muscles. Remember Barbarino? He used to do this. Bob. Was it him? Or was it John Travolta? John Travolta was Barbarino. Anyway. No, it was a group. that did ba 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 ba. Y'all remember that? Okay. I'm probably dating myself. I don't remember if it was a group. I don't know if it was Vinnie Barbarina. I don't know what the hell. But somebody used to do like this. Okay, repeat after me. I forgive myself for being ashamed of the ways in which I've shown up and behaved in the past. Even times when you might have accepted something you shouldn't have accepted, you might have stayed in a relationship way past over, you might have given too much to a relationship to somebody that was just a user and an abuser. You know, you might have allowed something in your life that you feel like maybe you shouldn't have. We've all done it all, okay? We have all done it. You might have spent too much on a pair of shoes. Whatever. You might have splurged, you might have spent your mortgage, your rent money on something you shouldn't have spent it on, whatever. Whatever. It is what it is. Okay. Everything that and for real, it makes you who you are. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, did I have y'all do the second part? No. I choose to believe that when I accept all aspects of my being, I find greater acceptance of others, creating the possibility for even deeper connection. Now, this is the new one. I was supposed to just be reading those. Do you see how that went, right? Okay. I forgive myself for making life more difficult than necessary by attaching meaning to my experiences. I forgive myself for making life more difficult than necessary by attaching meaning to my experiences. What I'm trying to get this one. By attaching meaning to my experiences. I don't even get this one. You know what I mean? Like I'm hearing a few things, but maybe I should let them come out my mouth. Okay, so this time I'm just gonna let whatever comes out my mouth come out my mouth. Okay. I forgive myself for making life more difficult than necessary by attaching meaning to my experiences. So is it that sometimes stuff just is what it is? I don't know. I'm going to read the next half to see if it helps me to understand the first half, because the only thing that I'm getting is that maybe we could be attaching the wrong meaning to the experiences, or we could be overthinking something and then getting just too deep into it. I think sometimes maybe we could be making our lives miserable because we give too much credence to something. Sometimes we might think too much on a little minute thing and made a mountain out of a molehill that really didn't need to go there at all. I know sometimes we might focus, like somebody might say something and then we're so focused on this little piece of it that we miss the whole thing. Or you could even you might think somebody's into you and they're not. you might attach a whole big meaning, or you could attach maybe a negative meaning to something and live in a lower vibration because maybe you think that you're not worthy or something like that because of your experience. I know I shared with someone about failure, and I said, well, I bumped my head so many times, I just needed to take a break, and a break from the failure. And he was like, you're not a failure. And I know I'm not a failure, but I did have failure. Failure is not attaining your goals in my eyes. My sunglasses says that. But technically, every failure leads you to success. Every failure builds your mental muscles. But if I decided to say, I'm a failure, and I assign that meaning to it, like I engulf and embrace, I'm a big ass failure, then, that would be something that I might have to work on, because that's attaching a meaning to an experience, and that's like a low vibrating negative meaning. And maybe I need to have different expectations and attach different meaning to different experiences. So I can see that now. But you see how it took me, I had to go all the way around Robin Hood's barn to understand that one. Okay, so I choose to believe that life's challenges are solely intended to strengthen and guide me towards my truest desires. And I may realize those desires by playfully engaging with those challenges. I choose to believe that life's challenges are solely intended to strengthen and guide me towards my truest desires. Okay. And I may realize those desires by playfully engaging with those challenges. So to me, that's saying that we need to call those trials and tribulations a joy. Call it a joy, building those mental muscles. You know what I'm saying? So I remember this story. Look, what's the story? I can't remember the dude's name. I think his name was Paul. Okay. So Paul, this was back in the day. Okay. And so Paul went outside, and he had a family and he had children and everything. So he goes outside one day and he has to go do his work in the yard. And there's this big boulder that must have fell from another planet, okay? Fell out of the sky and bam, right there in his yard. And he cannot work. He has to get rid of this boulder. But it's back in the day, they didn't have no truck to come get it, and they didn't have no big jackhammer thing, whatever. So he had to get this boulder and get it out of his way so he could do his work. So this wise man came by, and he was like, oh my gosh, look at my situation. I got this big boulder right here. What am I supposed to do? I can't do my work, this big old boulder. And so the wise man said, push the boulder. No. Was it the wise man? I don't know if it was wise man or was he talking to God? I think he was talking to God, but God is wise, right? So let's say he's talking to God. So you see, I can't even remember the story. So I'm probably going to switch the story up a little bit. So anyway, so he was talking to God, and he said, God, it was God. He was talking to God. He said, God, please move this boulder. Can you please move this boulder? And God said, Paul, go outside and push that boulder and it will move. So Paul went outside and he pushed the boulder and he pushed the boulder and he pushed the boulder, and that joker was not moving. And then he pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. The boulder was not moving. He pushed that boulder all day long. So that night he went to God and he said, God, you said push the boulder, it was gonna move. What's up? What's up? Boulder's still there. He said, Paul, go home, go in your bed, go in the house, go to bed, get up tomorrow, and you push that boulder. When you push the boulder, it will move. And so he went in, he went to sleep, got up the next day, he pushed the boulder, and his wife was like, honey, what you doing? Why are you out there pushing that boulder? He said, look, the boulder's in the way. I can't do my work. I can't do the farming. God said to push the boulder and it would move. So I'm pushing the boulder. So he was out there all day pushing the boulder. His kids came out there, Daddy, what you doing? And he said, I'm pushing the boulder. I prayed to God, and God said, push the boulder and the boulder will move. So he pushed the boulder, pushed the boulder. So he pushed the boulder all day. Boulder didn't move. Next day, he out there again, pushing the boulder, pushing the boulder. Boulder didn't move. Next day, he's pushing. Man, so now he's using his back, he's using his legs, he's using his calf. He's like, golly, I can't. Now the neighbors, they walking down the street. What you doing, Paul? man, I'm just trying to push this boulder. I talked to God, last week, and he said, push the boulder and it'll move. So I'm just pushing this boulder because I can't do my work. Look, I can't, till the land, whatever. And so he's pushing that boulder. So he done push. 2 weeks go by. Push. 3 weeks go by. Push. 4 weeks go by. He said, you know what? I feel like I'm being punked now. Is Ashton Kutcher coming? Where he at? So he goes back to God. God, I'm a little irritated right now. He said, look, you told me to push the boulder and it will move. And I've been pushing this boulder for over a month and it has not moved. I told you about timing, right? When you talk to God, spirits and everything, timing, you might be pushing for 1,000 years. So anyway, so he's like, that boulder ain't moved. My wife thinks I'm a nut. My children think I'm crazy. They laughing at me. My neighbors, they think I'm crazy. I'm out there pushing this stupid boulder. What's up? He said, Paul, go push the boulder and it will be moved. So he went back out there. He started pushing. He pushed all day long. Push. Okay? At night, he went in to go to bed. He was a little irritated because that joker still was there. Okay? And so overnight, there was a storm. And lightning came down, hit the boulder. Boulder disintegrated, right? And so Paul came out. He was like, oh my gosh, thank you, God. Thank you. But you sent some lightning to come crack the boulder up. Why you didn't do that the first day? Like, what's up? And he said, Paul, look at yourself. Just step back and look at yourself. And Paul was like, what you talking about, God? He said, look at your arms. Hold your arm up. Look at your muscle. Ooh, it's kind of hard. He said, look at your muscle. I'm pushing that boulder. Look at your muscles. Whoa. You can do twice as much work now, right? Look at your legs. Look at your thighs. Look at your calf muscles. Your body is in such shape now. Look at your mind. Do you know what it takes? What endurance, what commitment, what belief, what faith, absolute certainty. Look at your mind. Look at your spirit. Your mind endured the criticism of your neighbors, of your wife, everybody thinking you crazy, criticizing you, and you kept on. You were committed. You had absolute certainty that what I said would be. You ain't know how it was going to happen. You thought, and this is where sometimes we think we're supposed to receive something the way we thought we were going to receive it. Paul thought he was going to push the boulder and then it was going to roll away. He didn't realize that God was going to send some lightning, crack it up, crack-a-lacka-lacka, and it's gone after a month of pushing the boulder, But he said, look at your mind, look at your spirit, look at your commitment, look at your faith. Look at you. How do you feel inside? All of that exercise, you got to be feeling good, That's what this was about. This was about lessons. That's what life teaches us. That's what our trials and our tribulations are about. Our trials and our tribulations, they build our muscles. They build our physical muscles. They build our mental muscles. They build our spiritual muscles. They build us in totality. You know what I mean? So everything that has happened to you has happened to you on purpose to build you into who you are right now. Now, that doesn't mean that we might not need to heal some of the stuff or heal from some of the stuff that has happened to us, but it does mean that everything in your life has been on purpose, to just all the way back to you entering the womb of the parents that you selected. Everything was on purpose, whether you thought they were good parents or not after you came out. Whether you enjoyed your whole experience to this point right now or not, everything has been on purpose. That person that you broke up with, that was on purpose. That person that left you, that was on purpose. Why? Because there's something better for you. There's something better. One of my spiritual teachers used to tell me, pray for this or something better. Pray for this or something better. If you want this, you can go on and pray for this until you realize that this ain't even really for you. But anyway, I digress. If you want this, pray for this, but always pray for or something better, not worse, because you could get worse. You could, especially if you're not learning your lessons, okay? Those of you dealing with your karmic twins, the runner, the chaser. You don't have to do that. That's a choice, okay? And it's all about learning your lessons. Once one of the twins learns the lesson before the other one, if you've learned all your lessons with that twin, you could decide, I'm done. If the other one ain't level up, you could be done and move on, because maybe that's not the twin you're supposed to marry. But that's all about karmic twins and soulmates and all that stuff. But anyway, y'all, repeat after me. I forgive myself for making life more difficult than necessary by attaching meaning to my experiences. I choose to believe that the life's challenges are solely intended to strengthen and guide me towards my truest desires. And I may realize those desires by playfully engaging with those challenges. So enjoy the challenges, enjoy the trials. When you see one coming or when it hits, what's that all about? Laugh. You might cry and then laugh, because it's all on purpose. I always ask myself, what is this for? Why did that happen? What is that all about? But ask yourself, learn that lesson. If you don't learn that lesson, you're going to get another one. And I'm telling you, it gets harder and harder. The lessons get, first it might be like, like a love tap. And then it'll be like, and then it'll be like, and then it'll be like, Anyway, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed this forgiveness exercise for today, and I'll check y'all out later. Please like, subscribe, hit the little bell, go down to the link tree, join me on my other social media. I'm on Pinterest too. I love my Pinterest account. But definitely join me in Roses, Lavender, and Sage. It is a community for women. It is free to get in our community right now as a founding ambassador, but this is not forever, okay? I'm working with a coach to get things up and running, hopefully within the next 30 days, okay? I'm challenging myself. So once we're up and running, ambassadors, the door will be closed, okay? There is a lot in that community and a lot more to come. So definitely join us over in Roses, Lavender, and Sage. And you guys have a wonderful day. Ashe, ashe, ashe.